We've got some wild Browns trade rumors to get to today. But first, we're bringing back an oldie but a goodie, a chat sports challenge amongst all of our NFL channels here. And that is, who can comment the most on one singular video? The 2023 record right now is 41 times. So I'm calling all the dog pound to get in the comment section and spam F-Pit away. Comment your favorite Browns players. Do the whole Browns roster. Whatever tickles your fancy, just spam the comment section and light it up. And hey, whoever comments the most, we'll give a shout out on a video this week. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about an interesting rumor out there, an interesting idea maybe of Stefon Diggs being on the trading block after another Bills postseason collapse. Plus, I've really tried to stay away from this, but it's getting too big of a snowball to ignore. And that is the madness of the idea of trading Nicholas Jamal Chubb. So we'll talk about those two things along with the latest Browns news and rumors. Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, starting with this. Stefon Diggs, could he be on the trading block? So the Bills wide receiver was very frustrated after another, I wouldn't say early playoff exit for Buffalo, but it wasn't an AFC championship game, so that's two straight divisional losses. So kind of in the middle a little bit, could you say? Now, he was, like I said, clearly frustrated. If you missed it, he was on the sideline after Josh Allen threw to Gabriel Davis on fourth down, and it was incomplete, game over. Cincinnati kneels it out, essentially, and he was throwing his hands up. Like, come on, throw me the football. Now, reportedly, he left the locker room on the earlier side, and we'll look at that report in a minute. And it kind of goes to show, okay, Stefon Diggs clearly puts his heart on his sleeve. I don't expect a trade to actually happen, but might there be some sort of Buffalo looking at the offseason going, hey, it's not like last year where we liked what we had. We just had to pivot a little bit. You might need more of a pivot. I think Buffalo maybe isn't as far advanced in the AFC pecking order as maybe they thought they were. And if that's the case, if they keep trying the same thing over and over again, and I'm not saying the solution is trading Stefon Diggs away, but I do believe if this was a Bills show, I would say we all shouldn't just accept doing nothing and hoping next year will work differently. But in terms of Cleveland Browns content, let's talk about the Brownies for a second. So this Joe Buscaglia guy, I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly. He follows the Bills. He's a Bills beat reporter, and he tweeted out, Bills wide receiver Stefon Diggs darted out of the locker room with all of his stuff before some of the Bills coaches were even down in the tunnel area. Practice squad running back Duke Johnson stopped Diggs before he left the stadium and brought him back to the locker room. He left a few minutes later. He stuck around for a little bit, it sounds like, to listen to Sean McDermott, but clearly he was more than upset. Like, he was a guy who was fed up with whatever is going on in Buffalo. He clearly believes this was not a, dang, we just lost on a Hail Mary. Is what it is. Ball didn't bounce our way. No, Stefon Diggs, in my eyes, is clearly going, there needs to be bigger changes because I'm sick and tired of losing in the postseason and looking like J.J. McCarthy as TCU celebrates, and you're sitting there like, one day I want to grow up and be those guys winning. Like, well, you know what? Wouldn't mind if you grew up and play, well, he's already grown up, but play at the Browns. So Chops, who is, I don't know, de facto king of Browns Twitter, if you will, tweeted out, Stefon Diggs requests a trade to the Browns. And I think all 31 other NFL teams are hitting the same thing right now of, oh, Stefon Diggs, trouble in paradise? Could he come to Cleveland? Could he come to insert city? So we'll talk about this. Now, my take is I am 96% sure that there will not be a trade request made from Stefon Diggs, and the Bills don't want to trade him, so that should put all that to rest. I think this was just heat of the moment. He's a competitor. He wants to win, and he's very upset. This is a little bit more than just being very upset, because it's not like Josh Allen darted out of the facility, right? This is clearly like maybe more than just being upset that the Bills lost, but like, hey, we are way too talented. Maybe I'm even too talented to not be getting the ball on fourth down, and could there be some cracks in the foundation, if you will. So speaking of Stefon Diggs and trade buzz, let's talk next on the show about the madness, the insanity, more than Linsanity, of trading Nick Chubb. I addressed it at the end of last week's show, and I'm bringing it back because over the weekend, I can't go out of town for 48 hours to my sister's engagement party without some craziness brewing of let's trade Nick Chubb. So we're going to get to that in just a second. But first, I want to share with you guys some really interesting information about today's sponsor, which is Magic Spoon. Today's Browns Report is brought to you by Magic Spoon, the revolutionary cereal that is changing the game. Say goodbye to sugary processed cereals and hello to delicious, nutritious options that will power you through your day. Magic Spoon is the perfect choice for anyone looking to start the new year off on the right foot. With a variety of flavors to choose from like cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter, you'll never get bored. And with only 140 calories per serving, it's a guilt-free breakfast option. But the best part, Magic Spoon is packed with 13 to 14 grams of protein and 0 grams of sugar, making it the perfect choice for those following a keto or gluten-free diet. And with a 100% happiness guarantee, you have nothing to lose by giving it a try. Order your own personalized Magic Spoon variety pack today and save $5 by using code CHAT at magicspoon.com/chat or by scanning the QR code on screen. Trust us, you won't regret it. Start your day off right with Magic Spoon. I put that link for everyone in the comments and the description of today's show. All right, shout out Magic Spoon. Like I said, all that information's in the comments and the description of today's show. But speaking of trades, let's try and put to rest, try and really put it 10 feet in the dirt, the idea of trading Nick Chubb away. I'm going to put this down kind of like in Raiders of the Lost Ark or, Indiana Jones when Harrison Ford just takes the gun out and doesn't even do the whole sword fight thing. He just shoots the bad guy like twice. You know what I'm talking about here? This is why it's not going to happen. 2 short reasons, cut and dry. Number 1, the Browns don't want to trade Nick Chubb away. So if you don't have that, you're going to have a tough second part of the equation, which is, well, maybe they don't want to trade him away, but maybe a team will offer a first-round pick that the Browns can't refuse. Okay, I understand that. But number 2, no one is offering a first-round pick. You're not going to find an NFL team to give up a first-round pick for a running back on his second contract. Christian McCaffrey didn't go for a first. Nick Chubb and McCaffrey, I don't think their trade value is wildly far apart. So it'd be one thing if it was the Browns were losing and they were looking to rebuild and they would accept a second even though he's worth a first. No, they're not tanking. They're not rebuilding. So they're gonna want something more than he's worth because that's the only reason why they would do a trade like that when they were trying to win now is if someone offers them a deal they can't refuse. If the Bears call up tomorrow and said, we'll give you number 1 for Nick Chubb, do the trade. But guess what? There's no call coming from Hallis Hall. There's no one calling to give up a first-round pick for a running back. And the Browns aren't going to accept anything less than a first-round pick. So I go to tweets like this, and I hate to pick on chops, but I think that sort of just encompasses what a lot of people are thinking when they talk about trading Nick Chubb away, okay? Would Andrew Berry accept a deal if he got a first? Maybe, but no one's going to offer a first. That's the point I want to make is, sure, if a offer they can't refuse comes across their desk in Berea, they'll take it. But spoiler, they're not going to get one. And for that reason, when you parlay that with the Browns just don't want to trade him anyway, Cleveland's not going to be going out of their way to start picking up the phone and making calls saying, hey, what will you give us for Nick Chubb? No, I just do not see this trade ever happening, okay? This is simply an all-time Browns Twitter cesspool that Andrew Berry, driving into work, gets to laugh at when he puts on Sports Talk Radio or puts on the channel here. And he goes, they're talking about trading who? Wow, they are just so far removed from what's actually going on day to day at our facilities and in the front office. So I guess I'm also to blame because I'm talking about it myself right now. So shame on me. But no, it's not going to happen. Now, you guys know I love to bring you in on Chat Sports office debates. And this was one we had today. What about this? Stefon Diggs for Nick Chubb straight up. I don't think there's a loser or a clear-cut winner in this, Superman caliber trade of one star to the next team here. But who wins this trade? Is it the Bills or the Browns? I don't have a good answer for you guys. I think both teams accomplish a lot for sure. Buffalo finally gets the star running back they've been looking for, and Cleveland gets a great wide receiver to pair with Deshaun Watson. I would feel a lot better about this if Kareem Hunt was 3 years younger and he was clear cut an RB1 on stuck as an RB2 on the Browns. But I don't know. I think the Bills do, because then they come away more complete and the Browns are looking for another running back. But this is a fun trade idea, not going to lie, because it's two superpowers just, changing off their best talent right there. Now, let's talk a little about the NFL and the AFC North specifically here, because the Cincinnati Bengals are going back-to-back AFC Championship games, and I'm a fraud, right? Put the clown paint on me, because I thought the Bengals were going to kind of regress this year, right? They were sort of a, overachieved last year and fall back down, crashing down to earth this year. Nope. This is 2 straight years of them going to the AFC Championship game. They are more than legit. They are the team to beat in the AFC North, no doubt about it. Back-to-back AFC North champs. But if they beat Kansas City, they are the team to beat in the entire AFC, I think. Right? 2 straight wins against the Chiefs at Arrowhead to go to the Super Bowl? Probably. So this was a fun, well, I shouldn't say fun. This was an interesting debate I saw on Brown's Twitter, speaking of the cesspool, about, hey, look at Kevin Stefanski in the AFC North right now. Do we have the worst head coach in the AFC North? Well, it's only 1 through 4, so, if you're last, you're really just 4th. You're barely off the podium. But, yeah, Kevin Stefanski, if I do my current head coach rankings right now in the division, how do you not have him last? Who do you have him above? You could have made the argument for Mike Tomlin if he beat the Steelers in Week 18. But Mike Tomlin, vintage Tomlin, was like, nope, I'm not going below 500. So I think Harbaugh's number 1. Tomlin's a good coach, there's no doubt about it. It is kind of fun to look at what they've done since going to the Super Bowl in 2011. It hasn't been a whole lot, low-key. And Steelers fans were starting to get to that grumbling point. So I got Harbaugh 1, Tomlin 2. I feel bad. I think Zac Taylor should be higher. But if you asked Bengals fans, would you rather have Zac Taylor or Mike Tomlin or John Harbaugh? I don't think many are going to pick Zac Taylor. I think Zac Taylor was sort of born on third when Joe Burrow was the first overall pick for the Bengals, a little bit like that. And then fourth, I've got to have Stefanski, because how can I stand up here and make an argument for him being a better coach than those 3 guys right there, right? Those 3 guys have all gone to the postseason the last 2 seasons. The Browns have not. Now, when it comes to quarterback rankings, Joe Burrow, I've never seen a quarterback be well-liked by division rivals. But Joe Burrow's got that cool factor. He just does. He's just a cool motherfucker. Number 2, this is homer of me. This is bias of me. I'm going to put Deshaun Watson 2, which it's more like not because of what they did in 2022, because then you can't really put Watson 2. You probably got to put him 4. But I think if you were to go up to Ravens fans or Steelers fans and say, would you rather have Deshaun Watson next year or Lamar Jackson or Kenny Pickett? I think a lot of them anonymously would go, we're going to go Deshaun Watson, right? If the circus that came with it was not a factor of it and it was just in between the lines, I think Steelers fans would go, we'd rather have Deshaun Watson. I think Ravens fans would go, we'd rather have Lamar, but also, dang, Lamar has been absent, MIA, for key stretches down the stretch the last 2 seasons. They're starting to get, a little friction there. So the love's starting to wear off from that MVP season, I think, in the Charm City. That's going to do it for us on today's show. If you have not already, follow me on Twitter at Matthew Petey. I'll keep you guys informed and entertained on all the Browns off-season buzz.